Hugh Darvish has signed a 6-year, $126 million deal with the Chicago Cubs, and I'm going to talk about it. But before we get on with the video, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment as well. Let me know what you guys think. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. And let's get on with this video. So, Hugh Darvish, like I said, signed a 6-year, $126 million deal. And right off the bat, that makes the Cubs, in my opinion, the favorite to win the National League. Now, I want to wait until I see what the Dodgers do here, whether that's add another pitcher right now or mid-season. I want to see, and then I might change my mind. But as of right now, the Chicago Cubs, without a doubt, are the team to beat in the National League. They still have that dynamic offense. They have a great rotation that now you can say Quintana would be your number 1 starter, Darvish number 2, Lester 3, Chatwood 4, and then whoever you want in your 5th. And that 5th spot of your rotation. Now, their only weakness on this Cubs team is their bullpen, and that seems to be a weakness for them. 3 years ago, they stuck with Rondon, and then the year that they won the World Series last year, they made a trade mid-season to get Aroldis Chapman, and then last offseason they got Wade Davis, and then this offseason they got Brandon Morrow. Though I don't think he's a closer. He's a good 7th or 8th inning guy. It remains to be seen if he can be a good closer. I don't think he can handle that role. I don't think Cishek can handle that role. I don't think that Carl Edwards Jr. can handle it as well. But that remains to be seen. We'll see when we get there when it comes to that bullpen. The rotation in the offense is enough to kind of hide that bullpen a little bit and not really make it so noticeable. Though that's going to be a concern once they get into the postseason. Now, with this 6-year, $126 million deal, another thing that kind of interests me is where does that leave Jake? Now, Jake Arrieta is still out there. He was seeking pretty much the same amount of money, at least 5 years, $100 million, $120 million. Now, Darvish got 123 instead of 180, which is what people thought he might have gotten, 150 to 180. Ended up getting 124. I don't see anybody giving Jake Arrieta that amount of money or more. I just don't. I think that Jake is going to have to take a 1-2 year deal. Maybe he goes to Los Angeles. Maybe he goes to maybe he goes somewhere. I don't know where else to go. I don't know where else to put him except for Los Angeles. I mean, maybe the Brewers, because the Brewers were in on Darvish, though I don't think that they have enough to keep him. And I think that if Jake is going to go to the Brewers, he's going to want to get paid, and he's going to want a long-term contract, especially since they gave Lorenzo Cain that contract. So I don't know about that for sure yet. The next thing that I'm kind of interested in seeing is that with this move, is it going to finally open up the market for other free agents as well? Now, we've noticed, like I said, we've talked about Jake Arrieta, but are we going to see guys like JD Martinez and some of these other guys that haven't signed? Lance Lynn is another one that's out there. Alex Cobb is another good starter that's out there. Just a whole bunch of players that are out there that haven't signed, mainly because the big names haven't signed. So if we can get something going with these big names and we can see what happens with these big names, and then see if it kind of opens up the market for these other guys that aren't a JD Martinez or a Jake Arrieta or some of the other guys that are out in the market, that it might free up this market and we won't have to worry about this kind of freeze that we've been having for the past, pretty much since the hot stove season started. I mean, let's face it, other than Giancarlo Stanton, Shohei Ohtani, and now Hugh Darvish signing with the Cubs, what have we really gotten this offseason? I mean, we've gotten some names like Lorenzo Cain, and we've gotten Evan Longoria and Andrew McCutchen, but those aren't free agents, at least the last 2 that I mentioned, or the last 3 that I mentioned, with Giancarlo included in that one. They just aren't, and they weren't in the free agent pool, so we'll see about that. Now, like I said, the Cubs are the favorite to win. The bullpen is a little bit iffy. Rotation does obviously cover that hole that they have, especially with the offense that they have. But we have to see what the Dodgers are going to do. And I think the Dodgers are going to respond to this by maybe contacting a guy like a Jake Arrieta. I think honestly what they really are going to try to do is they're going to wait this out and they're going to see what they can get at the deadline. Maybe they can find that number 2, number 1 type starter. Or maybe they don't. And maybe they're going to have to be forced to get a guy right now if they feel like they can. But Archer's out there. Michael Fulmer is a decent guy that you can put out there. So there's guys out there for the Dodgers to try to go after and make a move. And I expect them to. I really do. But great job here by the Cubs. I mean, Theo Epstein talked about it's okay to make these moves every 4 to 5 years. And well, here we are about, what, 4 years later after they signed John Lester, and now they have Hugh Darvish, they have they have Hugh Darvish, they have John Lester, and they have Jose Quintana, which, I mean, that's going to be a really, really tough rotation. And if John Lester is your third starter, and he's going up against others that have a mediocre third starter, it's going to be a really tough day for that team, and for many teams in the National League. It really, really is. So, that's just my quick thoughts on it. I didn't want to make too long of a video here. Hugh Darvish signing with the Cubs, it's a big move. It helps the Cubs now. Will he be that Hugh Darvish that he was in the World Series? I don't think so. I think they'll find a way to work with him. They'll find a way to make it work. Like I said, tipping pitches is something that usually you can try to adjust in different ways. Maybe rushing the delivery to the plate a little bit quicker. Maybe changing up the signs so people don't have to read the signs that are going on between the catcher and the pitcher. There's ways to move around that and maneuver around that. So, not really too worried about that. Like I said, quick thoughts. Didn't want to make this a long video. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment as well. Let me know what you guys think about this move once again. And if you are new, don't forget to subscribe. And we're almost close to MLB The Show 18. I'm going to start posting videos of that. I'm going to start posting a little bit more often once that comes around and once the baseball season starts. And I can't wait to see the feedback and see what you guys have to say about Hugh Darvish. Later, guys.